So today I'm doing something that's different. I'm going to be building a dam reservoir in this area you see in front. I'm doing this by doing, I filmed this all earlier, so I'm going to do a voiceover and just explain what I'm doing. I've sped up footage. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting my terrain tool and I'm just flattening out the area, building up some size that the dam can sit on. Now I did screw up a few times with this, but I later went back there to try and flatten it all out and smooth it out, just so it makes this area a little bit more realistic. I know it's got the steep side, so it look a little bit weird, but flatten it out does definitely help. Now I'm going to check that this area can fit a dam, and check that it says it only requires water, which it does, so that's good. It means it's not too steep. Here I'm going to be putting in some of these outputs. Now I did cover a little video about these, link above, and what this is going to do is this is going to enable me to have a little bit of flow of water going down into area, and also it adds, later into the game, it adds a little bit of kind of realism to this whole reservoir where it's got to have a flow in point. So I'm waiting for the water to come flowing through this point, so you can see it's flowing down the valley and it's just accumulating down the bottom. Now once I get to a point, then I can start placing this, because the dam now thinks, I've got water in the bottom, so that's exactly what it's done. And it will start then slowly filling up that side. Now in theory I could leave it at that and I could just let that fill up, but this is a dam, so it will have water that gets expelled out the bottom bit if it gets pressure too high. So I'm going to build a little kind of draining trough, and then I'm going to build up the side so it doesn't flood across this flat area. This was a bit of a pain to do, because I tried to then make it look a bit more natural, but I've kind of flattened the area a bit too much, like there. So I'd then go back and flatten that initial bit, but I think it looks okay. It's not too bad. I do come back later and clean it up off camera for when I do the final sexies. So now I'm building the road, because I want to build like a little area at the top that looks like a proper like kind of little area for the reservoir. I forgot I left the prop and tree anarchy on, so it didn't delete any of the trees that were in the road. I fixed that off camera, so I went up and deleted all the things. Using a terrain painter mod, I'll put all the mods down below, just painting the area at the top into concrete, just so it looks a little bit more kind of industrial and nice at the top. And we're going around deleting all the trees, nearly accidentally deleted the power source there, painting in that little blodge, going through, painting in all the trees. Deleting all the trees just so you don't have trees growing in concrete. I could spend loads of time deleting the ones in the basin, but they're going to be underwater, so you're not going to notice. Flatten out the terrain here because concrete is naturally flat, so I wanted that. Then I wanted to build up a perimeter fence. So I'm using I think it's the prop line tool, and just editing some bits so it won't stick to the road and the plot points. Changing it to be straight lines, just going around the perimeter to just add a little bit more kind of level of realism to this area I'm building. Just going around the outside of this concrete area, finishing up there because it's a reservoir, so it needs to be finishing by the water, and just building down the roads as if it's like a secure facility. Then I'm going to build some little kind of entrance booths, so some little barriers in place. I toyed around with should I have open ones, closed ones. So I thought the exit one there is an open one, but the entrance one is a closed one, so it looks a little bit more realistic. I'm going to put down a little pay booth, or like a little security booth there, just so it looks like a little kind of security hut as you enter the area. Now I've come around and I've got these little pipes which I'm going to place inside these little things here, just so that it looks like it's a little bit more kind of like a pump area. This is when I started playing around with having pumps, but I realised I placed the wrong bit and it just didn't look right, so I went back and I redid these. I had some straight ones and some curved ones, and I forgot to this point. I thought, oh no, let's build this bridge. Oh, okay, I've got to turn it right, or left hand curve going over this bridge. So I've got, okay, the road has got to come under this, I feel. And then I completed off these little bits here to make it look a little bit more kind of industrial, and I felt that works quite well for like the look of this reservoir kind of pumping station. I've got to protect these pipes from potential lorries that are coming in, so they don't accidentally hit them and cause a flood, so put up some barriers. And then this came around with a couple more extra props. I won't list all these props below. You can go use whatever you want if you're going to plan on building these. I just had some construction props, and this is just some random construction industrial piles here, so I'll just place those around as if it's like a little marshalling yard of some kind. Here I was just basically going through looking to see if anything else fitted the area. Can't remember exactly what I put in here, I can't remember, but yeah, as you can see I've got loads of props you can place in here. I was planning like little buildings of some kind, and I actually later on had an idea on what I could do for buildings. Some fuel tanks in place, as you normally do find in industrial areas, and also some little fans going as well. I toyed around with here's some gates to put on the entrance, just make it a little bit more kind of square. I was looking for some lights, but I later found the light I wanted in another subtool. It's another little building I placed in the area just to make it look a little bit more authentic. There you go, that's the work light I found. So I thought this would look a little bit more kind of industrial and a little bit nicer. Then I found these parking bays, and I used the prop line tool again with editing some of the angles to try and make them line up, and then also the spacing so that it'll perfectly align. So you can see me there adjusting it and then stretching it out and then making the other side so it makes like a little parking kind of car park sort of thing where people come in and can park their car. Now this is where I had the idea of how I was going to do the industrial area to make buildings look. So what I thought is that I can actually build up roads here inside this little area and actually put down industrial zoning, so that then it will actually build kind of industry buildings in the area, and you actually then have vehicles going to and from it, so it would actually look fairly legit. Now I realised later on after I finished recording that I actually did screw up this road here because I still had the anarchy on. I can sort of see it a little bit there, but it's the corner I later screwed up. You'll see that here, and that's why you don't instantly see loads of vehicles going to the thing. Between me doing this building and me filming the Skottyys, I did actually fix that, so there are vehicles now going to this area, but that did mean that it did take a while for these buildings to prop up. So yeah, so I've got these industrial buildings here now, and that's that for the industrial area. I was quite happy with that. I was quite pleased with how that looked, and it will grow. Now this is where I'm coming to the water. I'll be doing a video in the future explaining how to use this water fill tool, but effectively I put there is a little water filling bucket so that it'll fill that area behind the dam filled with water. But yeah, and I just let it flow. So before I go into the Skottyys, now I'm just going to finish it off. So remember, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button, and also remember to hit the subscribe button. Yes. I've been Skottyy from Blue Coconut Family. Now, thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look at how it looks.